Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now, live at 4. Danica Lewis in for Susan Simon this week. Loud start to the morning.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. We woke up, and I guess we didn't wake up early enough because Mother Nature was like, come on, let's get a move on.
Get moving, yeah. Storms move through. We'll get to the weather in just a bit, but first, topping the news today, the body that is of a fallen firefighter is back home this afternoon after a 120-mile-long procession. Eric Franke has a look at that.
Plus, police in Sauk County say someone tried to abduct a toddler from his bed in the middle of the night. Keely Arthur is live with what we know and what police are still trying to figure out.
And the president introduced his new immigration plan this afternoon to prioritize people who can contribute to this country's workforce. We'll dive more into that in just a few minutes.
First, though, let's take a look at the weather words here. We're going to take a look at a time lapse that was sent to us from Jay Eberhardt in Mount Horeb. How cool is that?
We got so many pictures.
So many pictures of these clouds, and maybe we can get some clarity from Dana Fulton on exactly what those clouds were all about. Dana, how's it looking out there right now?
Right now, it's just a little muggy and cloudy for us, but that line of clouds that you saw coming through this morning, that's actually a shelf cloud. Here's our own time lapse from Platteville. We actually saw just a little bit of light early in the morning, and that really helped light up that shelf cloud as it came through, so it gave us a good visible option as the front came through for us. Right now, again, a few clouds in Platteville. Currently, we're seeing some pockets of sun in Grant County. But again, that was a shelf cloud that came through, and we got dozens of photos of it. So you can keep sending them in. I love checking out the weather photos that do come in from you guys. So looking at our Doppler track right now, the good news, we might see a few isolated storms pop up later this evening, but right now our Doppler track is quiet. It was very, very active this morning. We've had some stronger thunderstorms move through northern Illinois in the last few hours. Now it's just very warm outside. We're at 73 in Madison, but 81 in Dubuque, 91 in Moline, and 90 in Iowa City. So that warmer air to the southwest for us currently. It'll be shifting up in our direction here pretty soon. Now, overall, our wind speeds are coming from the south. It is a little breezy outside, not as gusty, though, as earlier this morning when the storm line was coming through for us. Temperature-wise, we are expected to fall, of course, overnight. Over the next few hours, we'll be in the upper 60s by 8 and mid-60s by 10 o'clock. Notice that chance for showers certainly still in there for this evening. So because of that, we have extended the alert day. It'll stay through the rest of tonight. And we've tacked on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, too. 3 more alert days because this rain and the storm chances aren't going anywhere. And we could be dealing with significant rain accumulation by the end of the weekend. We'll take a close look at what's ahead for your weekend in just a few minutes. Right now, bouncing to the roads to see what's going on with the first alert traffic. As we look through much of Dane County, not seeing any major delays. The eastbound side of the Beltline, of course, going a little slower. But the good news, the westbound side, we don't have any delays at all. Those speeds on the eastbound side down to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So again, add about 5 to 10 minutes to your commute. If you are traveling anywhere on McKee Road, we don't have those delays, but 151 towards McKee Road, that's where the delays are at this time. Janesville looks okay, and 39 and 90 also look okay right now. 28 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline, and 17 minutes from Sauk City to Middleton, and from Sun Prairie to downtown. So traffic okay right now. Storm chances, though, will be rumbling right back in for your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I would keep the umbrella on hand and maybe try to keep some indoor options for your weekend.
Looks like a lot of rain potentially as well. All right, Dan, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
First at 4, a Wisconsin firefighter killed in a shooting last night is being honored with a solemn procession from Milwaukee all the way to Appleton.
Mitchell Lundgaard was among 4 people shot at a downtown transit center in Appleton. Eric Franke joining us now with more about Lundgaard and just what happened. Eric?
Mark and Danica, police and firefighters responded to a call for a person on a bus having a seizure last night. That man, believed to be from Wausau, eventually left the bus. Police say he then showed a handgun. Shots were exchanged. A firefighter, Mitchell Lundgaard, was killed. The 14-year veteran of the Appleton Fire Department was honored with that procession today. A female bystander was also struck. She is said to be in stable condition. An officer was shot, suffered minor injuries. Now, the 47-year-old man who was the subject of that medical call, he also died.
There will be a time that we will talk in greater detail about what happened, about our response, about how we go forward, how we learn from this tragic incident. But that will come when everybody has the full detail of what happened.
That procession covered about 120 miles of Interstate 41. Firefighters with lights flashing, positioning themselves on overpasses to honor Lundgaard. There was also a procession overnight as his body was taken to the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's office. Governor Tony Evers sending his condolences to Lundgaard's family, friends, and colleagues. Funeral arrangements are still pending.
Always a touching tribute. Thank you so much, Eric. Columbia County officials have identified the 38-year-old man who was killed in a multi-vehicle crash Tuesday night. David Bickle of McWanago was a passenger in the pickup truck that was rear-ended by a large box-type truck. Now, speed and inattentive driving are believed to be factors that led the driver of that box truck to crash into 5 cars. 7 people were also injured in that crash. Authorities are searching for the person behind an attempted child abduction.
They believe someone tried taking a toddler from a mobile home in Lake Delton. That's where our Keely Arthur is to tell us how this child is doing now. Keely.
Well, the child is thankfully safe this afternoon. Police say the abduction was actually thwarted after parents heard a noise coming from their 2-year-old's bedroom. They rushed to check on the little boy and found him outside of the bedroom window. Police then interviewed the parents who pointed to a suspect, and then that is a person that is known to the family. The incident happened Saturday at 3 a.m., but police didn't make any announcements, believing the suspect may try to leave the state. However, that person was later ruled out. Authorities alerted the public about the incident today. The news surprising to longtime resident Bernie Lesner.
Oh, I'm just surprised as heck because that in the 13 years I haven't heard of anything here, not even a speeder.
Evidence collected at the scene suggested someone broke through the child's bedroom window and then ran away. Now, currently, there is not a suspect. Of course, if you have any information, contact the Lake Delton Police. They've been around this area all day. You can also contact Crime Stoppers. We have their numbers up on our website, channel3000.com.
All right, Keely Arthur reporting live from Lake Delton. Thank you, Keely.
The state is now suing a major opioid manufacturer, accusing the company of using deceptive marketing that helped lead to the nationwide opioid epidemic. Attorney General Josh Kaul announced that lawsuit today, alleging that OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma downplayed the addiction risks of the drug. 4 other states are also filing similar suits against the company. Back in 2007, the company agreed to a $19.5 million settlement after Wisconsin and more than 24 other states sued, but Kaul says the deceptive practices continue.
For instance, there were attempts to present opioids as the best solution for chronic pain. There also were efforts to downplay the harms of opioids, downplay the risk of addiction and the risk of overdose.
Purdue Pharma issued a statement denying the allegations, saying the states want to try the cases in the courts of public opinion rather than in the justice system.
In D.C. today, the president announced his new plan for legal immigration. It's actually based on merit. Lawmakers say it's not a full bill yet, but they are hopeful the ideas are going to be a jumping off point for a complete overhaul of the immigration system. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
President Trump outlined his plan to modernize the U.S. immigration system from the Rose Garden Thursday.
Our proposal is pro-American, pro-immigrant, and pro-worker.
His new merit-based system would assign points based on an immigrant's specific skills, such as education, income level, and if they speak English. The current system awards green cards mainly based on family connections and a lottery. The president's new plan also calls for more technology to scan entry points, more border wall construction, and an overhaul of the asylum system.
Under this plan, the borders will finally be fully and totally secured.
Republican lawmakers call the proposal a good first step.
Having a unified front on merit-based immigration to keep the economy humming and border security is a good place to start.
Missing from this proposal is a plan for the so-called dreamers, immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, and that's just one reason some Democrats are calling this a non-starter.
This sham proposal is dead on arrival.
I'm going to look at it from the positive side, and the positive side is we are going to finally reopen the debate on immigration.
The president's advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner helped craft the plan. Democratic Senator Dick Durbin points to Kushner's work on getting criminal justice reform passed as a sign that it could be possible to negotiate a bipartisan immigration deal. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump vowed today that if Democrats do vote down his proposal, he will get the plan through Congress after the 2020 election, predicting his own re-election and GOP majorities in both chambers.
Also in Washington, D.C., leaders on the president's team met with congressional leaders today to talk about the newly elevated threat from Iran. When asked by reporters whether we're going to war, the president answered, "I hope not." Federal officials claim they have evidence of credible threats from Iran, including pictures of ballistic missiles loaded onto boats that could strike American targets. Lawmakers in both parties remain skeptical of the threat and demand details from intelligence officials. Iran's foreign minister is criticizing the White House for unnecessarily provoking his country, saying the government will respond to any attack.
The Rolling Stones will be in Chicago next month. It's the band's first stop on their No Filter tour. That tour was postponed after lead singer Mick Jagger had to have heart valve replacement surgery earlier this spring. The new concert dates were announced today, starting with shows at Soldier Field on June 21st and 25th. The group tweeted today that 75-year-old Jagger and the rest of the band cannot wait to get back on the road again. The No Filter tour goes through this summer, finishing in Miami at the end of August.
And you may have wondered why theaters around the state are wishing a happy birthday to Liberace. It's because today is the 100th centennial birthday of one of Wisconsin's most famous entertainers. The pianist was known for his musical skills and some of his flamboyant outfits, to say the least. He was born in Milwaukee, even lived in Madison for a time, and this is the marquee at the Orpheum Theater in downtown Madison.
We've heard rumors, though, of other marquees all decked out as well.
Apparently all over the states.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It is. All right, still to come at 4, the future of Westgate Mall in Madison is up in the air.
That's right. The city's first mall, built back in 1960, will be virtually empty very soon. We'll find out why when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Welcome back. The last major retailer at the Westgate Mall is leaving in the next few months, which means aside from a few stores, the shopping center sits empty.
TJ Maxx will be moving across the street next to Office Depot. Now the Wisconsin Craft Market and a bookstore and a State Farm insurance agent, they are the last remaining tenants there. The owner of the Wisconsin Craft Market told us today that over the last 29 years that his business has been there, he's watched everyone around him leave, which may have something to do with the longtime talks of remodeling the place.
It's finishing our 29th year, and it was a full mall then, but they know they're going to remodel the mall, so they didn't want to give long-term leases to anybody that would prevent them from doing the remodeling whenever that day comes.
So while the future of the mall is uncertain, Westgate's owners say they are looking at options to get the mall back under contract.
Some upbeat earnings reports led to some big gains on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials gained 214 points, ending the day at 25,862. The NASDAQ Composite Index added 75, and the S&P 500 was up 25. And it is almost the weekend in the 608. It's Friday Eve.
That's right. Here to look at what's going on in the area is our contributor, Emmy Fink. Hey, Emmy.
Can you feel it? The weekend's getting closer. Yeah. I can feel it.
I could feel it on Monday. So.
Oh, that's a good spirit. I like it.
She looks forward to the weekend on Monday.
Who doesn't?
Gotta keep looking ahead.
All right, so you started with some music here.
So this is pretty cool. They're sisters and they're in a band together. So classically trained musicians and sisters Monique and Shantae Ross from Milwaukee comprise the group Sista Strings. I can say it like that, Sista Strings. They blend classical music with gospel music, and they headline the annual Spring Benefit concert at the Wiseman Center. And of course, that Spring Benefit goes to help better understand developmental disabilities. This takes place Saturday night at 6 o'clock.
What's their name?
The Sista Strings.
I love a good violin player. It's pretty impressive. And let's go from that music to a whole nother type of music, it seems like.
Much different.
Yeah.
So we have everything across the board. So the Rousers celebrate their 35th anniversary as Madison's rock band at the Barrymore Theater Saturday night. So it's a 6-member group with 4 of the original members, and they're going to be joined by Fat, PH, which is much cooler than Fat with an F. Fat Function.
Thanks for all of the hip terminology.
I know.
Here,
I mean,
that's
what I read on the Google, like Charlotte likes to call it.
The Facebooks.
Exactly. And the entire show is actually going to be shot by a local filmmaker, so it's going to be pretty cool. The whole thing is actually opened by Phil Gnarly and the Tough Guys, which is another local act. So lots of fun going on.
We were going to use the Rousers logo on the air, but we decided against it. Look it up.
Oh, I didn't.
That's for the Googles right there.
That's
for the Googles.
Let's bring it up.
All right, a couple of theatrical productions available this weekend as well.
All right, so this is pretty neat too. The first focuses on living with attention deficit disorder. So it's called Shiny Things, and it's being presented at the Bartell Theater, and it looks at a woman who has ADD and is it has complicated her life and really since childhood. So this runs tonight through Saturday at 8 o'clock each night. So something a little bit more serious there.
Okay.
Looks like there's some tunes in that, and definitely some tunes over at Overture Center too.
You can't have a good story without some good tunes, right?
Exactly.
I usually try to get Mark to sing. I'm not going to this weekend, but playing all weekend long at the Overture is the musical A Bronx Tale, and a New York City borough of the Bronx set in the 1960s. It actually opened on Broadway in 2016 and started a national tour last fall. So here's the story. It's about a young boy's grooming to become a mobster. Sounds like a pretty good movie, right? A soundtrack mix of Motown, doo-wop, and a little early rock. And you know some of the greatest songs from like Pocahontas and Little Mermaid by Alan Menken. He's the musician on this one too. So tonight through Sunday, lots of shows at Overture for A Bronx Tale.
And Michael Bruno goes backstage tomorrow to take a look at this.
He'll have the inside scoop.
They go to the Italian Workmen's Club to do this interview.
Oh boy.
Perfect background.
Yeah,
some good food, I can imagine too.
Oh, you got a comedian in town.
Well, he's a pretty big name, okay? So performances on Conan, Jimmy Kimmel, and a lot of other late night appearances. And she even had thank you. She even had a stint on Comedy Central. Beth, definitely a woman, headlines the Comedy on State this weekend. So she's actually a writer for HBO's The Crashing and is hilarious live from what they tell me. So tonight, Friday and Saturday, 5 shows total. Beth.
Best darling.
She's beautiful. Definitely not a man.
That's all right. That's all right. And for folks looking for maybe a little bit more of an educational vibe this weekend too, there's something for them.
With their kiddos, no doubt. So the entire family head down to the Wisconsin Historical Museum for Badger Explorations Urban Adventures. You can have explorations even right here in the capital city. So Saturday from 10:30 until 12 noon. It actually goes on once a month. A workshop is offered to explore Wisconsin, and this weekend it's a scavenger hunt to find hidden treasures around the Capitol Square, a hands-on group activity, and then the kiddos get a craft to take home. It's really aimed for kids between 2nd and 5th grade. They do want an adult to come and chaperone, so it's not a babysitting event. You can't just drop them off and head out, but you know, good thought.
Big variety as usual.
Yeah. Lots of good stuff, lots of great music.
All right, Amy, thank you.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
next week.
Sounds good.
And get this month's Madison Magazine for all of the best in the Madison area.
So coming up after Dana's First Alert forecast, one of TV's biggest shows is actually coming to an end tonight.
What all started with a big bang is going out with one as well.
After 12 years of laughs, TV's top comedy is signing off. I'm Chris Martinez with a look back at The Big Bang Theory's historic run.
Take a look at this. Cameras captured the moment a dam collapsed in Texas. The partial structure failure took place at the Dunlop Dam in New Braunfels. The break sent water cascading briskly through the 91-year-old dam's middle gate. The breach caused a nearby lake to drop 7 feet. Residents and visitors have been warned to exercise extreme caution around the dam. I guess that goes without saying.
No kidding.
Gushing through.
Yeah.
I'm just glad nobody was hurt or anything.
Right,
Nobody was checking things out right around there. So, okay, personally, I haven't really thought about it. I'm not sure how much I would pay for a stainless steel sculpture of a rabbit.
I don't know. But if it was by famed artist Jeff Koons, it would take an awful lot. So the sale of Koons' 1986, God, that's ugly, Rabbit at Christie's last night was auctioned off for $91 million. That's the most money.
Like a balloon.
It looks like the most money that was ever paid at an auction for work of a living artist. The previous record went to British artist David Hockney for his 1972 Portrait of an Artist pool with two figures. That brought in $90.3 million at Christie's last year. The winning bid for the Rabbit went to art dealer Robert E. Munchin, the father of U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Munchin. Now, I know art's to each his own.
You're right.
But
I don't know.
It does look like a balloon.
It does. It kind of looks like a balloon animal.
It's bigger than I thought.
Oh, you were thinking like a little...
Yeah, little guy.
For $91 million.
Right, that's what it better be a sizable sculpture.
It better sing to me.
Do my laundry.
Right.
Build me a house.
It better be a real special kind of sculpture.
It's the eye of the beholder, right?
Yes, it is. It is. Kudos to him.
Sure.
Congratulations.
All right. So when it comes to my corner, right now we're talking about rain and some storm chances. A cloudy sky currently. We do have a few pockets of sunshine in Grant County, but that's about it. We have showers for the next several days. We'll take a closer look right after the break. So again, quite a wicked morning for us. Overall, here's a look at the shelf cloud that did slide through. A picture from Gary Johansson sending this photo to us. Of course, you can always send photos, Facebook, Twitter, through the app, or emailing us. We got lots of options to come through as we look ahead. Of course, if you ever want to send us any weather photos. Sometimes you know, we don't get to actually see what's going on outside for ourselves. Unfortunately, our weather office doesn't have windows, so when you're able to send in pictures, it gives us some boots on the ground, eyes to the sky to see what's going on outside. So again, Gary Johansson sending in this photo for us, that shelf cloud, the leading edge of that storm system. It's always at the bottom of a nice big thundercloud coming through for us. Today, our temperatures hopped up just a little bit, not too much though, unfortunately. We didn't get too warm, but earlier today, about 73 degrees, a little above average, and starting the day at 60. Our temperatures are going to continue to fall overnight, so our actual low, rather than being first thing in the morning, will likely be later on this evening. Our Doppler track is quiet right now. We had a lot of storms rumble through earlier today. We do still have a slight risk along the state line for some stronger thunderstorms through the rest of the evening. Likely not going to see anything, but the chance does exist. It's so humid outside that if anything does bubble up, it could have a little bit of energy behind it and bring some stronger wind gusts, maybe even some hail. By Friday, a marginal risk for the southwest corner of the state. And then for Saturday, that marginal risk extends up through 90 and into the northwest corner of the state. So this cold front right now just draped through. It's going to continue to drive southeast. Remember that warmer air that was in the eastern edge of Iowa right now in the upper 80s, close to 90 for some areas. Cooler air will be rushing in for us heading into Friday, and then that front's going to stall to the south and stay there and just help continue to send rainfall for us for the rest of the weekend. We have showers and the chance for stronger thunderstorms almost every single day. So overnight, a chance for showers, especially south of Madison. Friday morning, we're mostly cloudy, and then scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms expected in the afternoon. Saturday morning, we start off cloudy with rain north of Madison, and then a chance for showers will develop in the late afternoon and evening and stay with us into Sunday. Sunday, very saturated day. A lot of rainfall expected throughout the day and into the evening. And again, we may see some stronger thunderstorms in there also for Sunday. As far as rainfall totals, really going from 2 to 3 inches of accumulation for most of southern Wisconsin, and some isolated areas could pick up more. This is all the way through Sunday, so through the weekend we could pick up that much rain. We're already quite saturated, so we could be dealing with a few isolated flooding spots by Monday morning. Overall tonight, we're going to stay cloudy. Again, that chance for a few isolated thunderstorms. Early Friday morning, our temperatures will fall into the lower 50s. In the afternoon, that rain chance is going to pick up for us, but it'll be pretty scattered with our shower chances. Cloudy early on Saturday, and then the chance for a few isolated showers and thunderstorms develop later on Saturday evening. So alert days for tonight and Friday, Saturday and Sunday. The concerns, as you can see, it's copy, paste, repeat, scattered thunderstorms, hail, some strong wind gusts, and heavy rain. And that heavy rainfall will lead to significant accumulation by the end of Sunday. Overnight low about 52 heading into Friday morning. It is going to be mostly cloudy, and our showers develop and stay with us into Friday. Friday, we're looking at a high of about 58, but that's going to be early in the day, and then our temperatures are actually going to hold pretty steady in the mid-50s throughout the late morning and early afternoon. There's our alert days through the weekend, and fortunately not a nice weekend coming through for us. It will be a little cooler outside tomorrow. Saturday, we're in the low 70s for afternoon highs. We'll be close to average on Sunday in the upper 60s, and then next week it does look like temperatures will hold below average in the low 60s to start the week. Another chance for rain, though, knocking on the door for your Tuesday and your Wednesday. But we have a lot of rain coming through, guys, so we will be keeping a close eye on those rivers and creeks, just because 2 to 3 inches of rainfall for everybody, that's a significant amount.
Yep.
Indoor weekend.
Indoor weekend.
That's a lot of TV binging to do.
TV binging, there's HBO, there's Netflix, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And rain.
Yes, and rain. And rain.
All right, Dana, thank you. Speaking of television, it is the end of a television era tonight.
That's right. After 12 seasons, the final episode of the hit CBS comedy The Big Bang Theory airs tonight. Chris Martinez takes a look at the show's historic run.
Someday, my new formulas on entropy decrease due to quantum decoherence will need to be tested.
After 279 episodes, television's top comedy is signing off. Tonight's series finale of The Big Bang Theory is a bittersweet end to more than a decade of laughs.
The quote from Winnie the Pooh keeps coming up in my mind, how lucky I am to be this sad to say goodbye to something.
Hi. 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 Hi.
Hi.
The Big Bang Theory debuted in 2007, following brilliant but socially awkward young physicists Sheldon and Leonard, their geeky gang of friends, and neighbor Penny. The show would go on to become one of TV's highest-rated comedies, earning 52 Emmy nominations, winning 10, and turning its top stars into some of TV's highest-paid actors.
It's rare to find that kind of a formula where the writing is that good and the cast has that chemistry, and then the rest is history.
history literally, with the show now ranking as the longest-running multi-camera series ever.
When the show came out, I'm sure no one anticipated it to be as big as it eventually became.
Variety Magazine's Joe Otterson says filling the void the show leaves behind won't be easy. The series ranked as TV's most-watched comedy for 7 of its last 8 seasons, averaging more than 10 million viewers a week.
The chances of finding a show with this big of an audience over this long a period of time, that's pretty rare.
Look at all the babies.
Some will be successful, some may be homeless. It's fun to think about.
As for how it all will end, the cast promises a sweet send-off in the show's hour-long finale tonight. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Wow. The series finale of The Big Bang Theory does air tonight right here on News 3 Now at 7 o'clock.
And still to come at 4, they're calling it the Tiger effect.
Yeah, that's right. Tiger Woods is making a golf comeback, and as Tiger goes, so goes the game itself. More on that Tiger effect and how a Madison area pro golfer is part of it when Live at 4 continues. Look at Platteville looking sort of pleasant out there. A little sunshine coming through, but gray skies as well. It'll be pretty much that way for the foreseeable future, at least through the weekend. Right. And of course, we'll have a check on weather in a little bit. Not great golfing weather, and the 101st PGA Championship is now underway in New York at Bethpage Black, the iconic public course on Long Island.
It's the second major of the year, and even casual fans are watching the scoreboard because of who won the first tournament, Tiger Woods. Tom Hansen reports from Farmingdale, New York.
golf fans were out in force to see Tiger Woods at the PGA Championship on Long Island.
It's hard to get close when you're around Tiger.
Woods returned to action Thursday for the first time since his big win at the Masters last month. The 43-year-old's victory there was his 15th in a major tournament after several years of injuries and personal problems. Now, the resurgence of Woods has injected golf with a jolt of excitement.
It was like kind of he's back and everyone's, super pumped.
The Tiger effect isn't hard to measure. TV ratings for the final round of this year's Masters were up more than 41% from 2018.
When we have him on our telecast, the ratings soar.
CBS Sports golf analyst Vern Lundquist says Woods attracts non-fans.
I can remember being on airplanes 25 years ago when he first hit it big. And I had elderly ladies on a plane coming up and tug on my arm and say, how'd Tiger do today?
Bethpage Black is a public course often called the Country Club of the People, and many of the fans watching here today have actually played this challenging course more than the pros.
It's a course you can come out here and play no matter who you are on Monday or Tuesday. You know what I mean? It's like, that's awesome.
CBS Sports golf reporter Amanda Balionis says Bethpage is the place to be this week.
There is nothing that compares to Tiger Woods being in contention at a major championship.
Woods is among the favorites to win, but the competition is fierce, so time will tell if he has what it takes to win another major. Tom Hansen, CBS News, Farmingdale, New York.
And of course, you can watch that tournament right here on Channel 3.
You a golf guy?
I like watching it.
Yes, it takes a very exciting round for me to really get into it.
I have it on in the kitchen when I'm cooking.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, that's a nice background noise.
Absolutely. All right, when Live at 4 continues, we're behind the wheel of 2 award-winning vehicles, which are on the opposite end of the automotive spectrum.
That's right, the Hyundai Kona versus the BMW M5 competition. It is amazing how 2 things that are essentially the same can be, so very different. Harvey Briggs joins us when Live at 4 continues.
We, of course, are seeing those delays along the Beltline. Most of southern Wisconsin, though, doesn't look too bad for us. In fact, 3990 looks okay. We do actually have a crash on the exit for the eastbound side of 12 onto Fish Hatchery Road. So you can see a few delays there from that exit to get onto Fish Hatchery Road. But it is blocking the shoulder. It's not blocking the actual exit right now. Again, east and westbound sides delayed just a little bit. Also seeing some delays on 151 and McKee Road. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thanks so much. So forget your reclining movie theater seats. The theater that we're showing you right here in Switzerland has actual beds. And it does not end there, folks. Besides all the latest technology like IMAX and Dolby, the theater serves gourmet food. But really what sets it apart is the optional VIP experience. If the beds were not enough, it starts with a special foyer with a own wine and champagne bar, and then from there moviegoers can go to the VIP box with cocoon seating, where you can watch the latest release, you know, from your own bed. I would just fall asleep.
It better be an action movie, because otherwise you're going to just doze
exactly.
off.
You just doze off after some wine. Come on.
Some boring movie.
So from maybe boring movies to not so boring cars, time to go behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs, and this time it is the tale of two cars.
Two vehicles that'll get you where you want to go, but taking a very different approach doing so. Gentlemen, start your engines. We got like a boxing match here.
That's right. In this corner, we have the 2019 North American Utility Vehicle of the Year, the Hyundai Kona. And in this corner, we have the BMW M5 Competition, the World Performance Car of the Year.
They're both cars?
They're both cars.
Four tires?
Four tires, disc brakes all around, leather seats over here, leather seats over here, hand-stitched leather sports steering wheel there, hand-stitched sports steering wheel here. But a big difference between the two.
Actually, a couple of big differences. Under the hood of the Kona, 175 horsepower. Under the hood of the BMW, 617 horsepower. This is the exhaust sound of the Kona. And this is the exhaust of the BMW.
This is an all-wheel drive, adventure-focused, fun, entry-level SUV. And this is an all-wheel drive, high-performance track car that you can drive on the street.
Oh, and there's a little difference when it comes to the window stickers.
The Kona, all equipped, totally loaded as we see it right here, is about $30,000. The BMW, add a 1 before that number. We're at about $132,000 for the BMW M5 Competition.
So essentially, you could buy 4 fully loaded Hyundai Konas for 1 BMW M5 Competition and have $12,000 left over. And you get pretty much everything you need in the Kona.
This is a fully loaded compact vehicle, and at its base price, it's $19,000, $20,000. But if you load it up like this, you're at $30,000, and you have everything that BMW has except for 2 things. Well, 3 things. Power. You don't have ventilated front seats, and you don't have adaptive cruise control, but you have all the other safety systems.
But the Kona doesn't have the BMW sound system.
You have this wonderful sound system in here, which also includes BMW's what they call touch control.
How does that work? You're kidding me.
You don't have to touch anything to turn up or down the volume, and if I want to change the channel,
you're kidding me.
Then you can do that while you're driving.
And driving is what the BMW is all about.
It rides pretty well. I mean, you know, it's not a Rolls-Royce luxury ride, but it won't beat you up like a true sports car would on the highway.
But put it in track mode.
You can feel the suspension tighten up, the steering tightens up, the shift points are really quick on this, and this is a car that you could hammer around the track all day.
With 617 horses working all out.
I mean, we're at a point where the amount of horsepower available in cars is ridiculous that anyone, you know, not even with nothing more than a regular driver's license can go buy a car that has more horsepower in it than an Indy 500 car. It's crazy.
So maybe, just maybe, the Kona makes more sense.
It's really a good value, high quality car. They're doing very well in the JD Power rankings, and you get this great color.
And what's the color?
Lime Twist.
Lime Twist. I like that. So you had to choose between these two.
Well, if this one fits my budget, that one fits my lifestyle.
The exhaust on that thing. Harvey is here now.
Yes, I'm back.
We didn't
Vroom, man.
We didn't talk about mileage.
Yeah, a little different between the two. The BMW is about 14 around town and around 19 on the highway. The Hyundai gets about 24, I think, around town and 29 on the highway.
And a gas guzzler tax on
Yeah, with the BMW, you have to pay that gas guzzler tax, which is an additional $1,000. So that's all part of the problem.
And the other exciting thing is you can get an all-electric Kona.
Yeah, that's about a $15,000 upgrade from the model we had there. So it's more, but it's all electric. So battery powered, a few hundred miles of range, and you charge it at home. Just plug it in.
That's so wild. I still think you're magic with the BMW
Yeah,
tricks.
that gesture control thing is pretty interesting.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
For $132,000, it should tune itself. Harvey, thank you. We'll see you next time.
Yes, we will.
I'll check your forecast coming up. Dana's back. Get ready for more rain.
Yes, keep the umbrella on hand because the rain continues to come through for us. Right now we're cloudy in Platteville. The good news, though, as we look at our Doppler track, things are pretty quiet. No more rain expected really for the rest of this evening. We may have an isolated storm pop up, but it's going to be pretty small if that does happen. 73 in Madison right now, but 84 in Dubuque and 91 in Moline. They hit a record down there as they're just in front of that cold front. We, of course, are slowly becoming behind the front, so our temperatures over the next few hours are going to fall for us. Tomorrow we're looking at a cool day, and we have scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So alert days through the weekend because of that rain threat, that continued storm threat for us.
The last thing we need.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, Dana, thank you. We'll be right back. In today's Final Touch, for sale, an empty lot in Palo Alto, California.
Yeah, you better bring your checkbook, though. There is nothing on this 11,000 square foot parcel except for some heritage trees. Now the old Palo Alto